Hello, Pilates South Austin. Good morning, good evening, whenever you may be doing this class. This is Reformer on the Mat, inspired by our Reformer exercises, but putting our mat foundation to work. So we're going to start warming up because we're recording this on a cold day. So I want you to have nice warm legs. So start parallel, toes under the hips here. Put the weight evenly in the heels and the balls of the foot. And stand up nice and tall. And as I like to say, make it Pilates, right? Inflate fully. Fill up your column of air. You're going to hold your ribs and feel the ribs expand. And then exhale. Let the pelvic floor rise. Bring the ribs, feel them knit together as if they could come kiss right here in the front. And everything wraps around our waist all the way through. Inhale fully, exhale, push the feet in the floor, zip the pelvic floor, and then shoulder blades glide down the back, neck is long. Inhale, hands overhead, exhale, just bend the legs into a squat, but it's not a very deep one because you're really just getting the backs of the legs. Your pelvis is still nice and neutral and spine is long. And stand up and squat. And then stand up. So we're not sticking out like this. And we're not tucking here. We're just letting our spine move in a natural position as we go up and down. Up and down. A few more times. And we'll now stay here and hold this squat. Reach up and dive forward. And bend your knees towards the floor. And feel everything hang. Knees are still bent here. Inhale as you push the floor away. Reach the fingertips down as the spine comes up and get that stretch across the back. And roll the spine back up. Inhale, arms overhead. And now squat a little deeper. So maybe sticking tailbone out just a little bit farther. Nice and long. Shoulder blades are down the back. 2 more. Next one, squat and hold here. Now notice where you can move your pelvis. You can tuck it or you can extend it. Keep your feet evenly, tuck and extend. Just warm up this back. Use the core muscles here. And now to keep it nice and long. And now pulse, little pulses here for 8, 7, 6, 5. Just press the feet into the floor. Use the glutes. Feel those heels and hamstrings and glutes fire. 2, 1, stand up nice and tall. Reach up and roll down 1 vertebra at a time. Bend your knees as your fingers reach for the floor. And stretch those hamstrings. And straighten the legs for 3, and 2, and 1. Press the feet into the floor. Raise back up. And arms follow overhead. Last little set of parallel squats here. Go ahead and glide those femur bones back. Keep the weight in the balls, or the balls of the feet and in the heels. Evenly lift and lower each heel for 8 and 7 and 6 and 5. Keep the shoulder blades down the back, neck long. 3 and 2 and 1. Oh, 1 more for good measure because I think I counted wrong. All right, stand up and stretch. And then 1 more over. Inhale all the way down. Drop the chin. Let the head and neck be long. And bend and straighten the knees here for 3 and 2 and 1. Legs are straight as you push the floor away and the fingertips reach for the floor. And return to standing and come to second position. So now you're slightly turned out, meaning your knees are slightly over your toes. You're going to plie here. Repeat this for 4 and 3. Now you've got some little external rotation instead of those parallel legs. 2 and 1. Stand up all the way, flip those feet, and now roll down here. Your legs are a little wider. And put those hands right in the middle as you lower your seat here.
So now bend and straighten your leg 3 times here in this wide second squat. And 2, and 1. Press the floor away. Come back up. Hair flip if you need to get your hair out of your face, and then rotate back out to the side and repeat. Plies, reaching long through the arms. Open the back, bend the knees. Stand up nice and tall, and now take this lateral stretch. Reach through the fingertips. Inhale to go over, and come back up. Inhale to the other side. And back up. Inhale over. Lift. Feel the opposition. This foot and these fingers. And push back up. One more. Inhale up and over. And push back up. Press the air away. And take one more plie. Now here, notice this, again, the pelvic tilts. So you're going to just gently tuck and extend. And tuck, just warming up that low spine, just the core works. And 2, and 1. Find this nice middle neutral position. And now lift and lower each heel for 8 and 7. Reach the fingertips, 6 and 5 and 4. Imagine you could touch each wall so the back is broad. 2 and 1. Press the floor away. And coming into a 4th position, we're going to warm up with a little carousel, so I don't want to slide, so let me get onto my mat here. So I've got, both feet are flat here, but then I want you to give yourself a little bit of a heel. And so this will stretch this hip, zip the pelvic floor here. The other knee does not go past the toes. So I just want little plies here for 4 and 3 and 2 and 1. Press and hold here. Nice long neck, little pulses, but think about the pulse just pressing the feet into the floor for 4 and 3 and 2 and 1. Stand up nice and tall. Feel the stretch right down here through the hips. Zip the pelvic floor. Inhale, and now you're going to roll over just like the other ones. You can bend this knee when you're ready to, kind of coming down to this runner position, and then straighten the back leg. You can get both but you can get both hands on the floor. Great. You can frame the foot, or you can put them both next to the foot that's in front. Inhale, nice and long. Keep that head and neck long. Inhale fully. Exhale. Long neck. Zip the pelvic floor. And bend that knee. And now straighten that front leg. Nice long neck. Gentle hamstring stretch. Nothing too deep right now. Press that back foot into the floor and just notice the engagement between the feet. So you press that foot and it kind of rocks the other one forward, because it comes up to the pelvis where they're both connected. Fancy. All right, flipping those toes back up, and then come into this little triangle, a little parallel. And you also could just put your hands right here at your thigh. Nice long neck. Feel these inner thighs kind of magnetically reaching for each other. So it's like the heel of the front foot and the heel of the back are connected, reaching towards that midline. And standing back up all the way and turn to the other side. Warming up those hip flexors. Hands down. Make sure that this knee tracks just to the front of the toes, not past the toes. For 4 and 3. Think about pressing the floor away. And 2 and 1. Press and hold here. For 4 and 3 and 2 and 1. Pressing up nice and tall and coming down to a lunge. Get your hand options. The hands can be next to the foot, or they can frame the foot. Keep a nice long neck. Make sure you're looking above your fingertips, because that's what I notice whenever I'm looking at my other foot. I'm like, oh, am I looking in the wrong place? So be aware of where your eyes are gazing. Inhale fully and lower that knee. Straighten that front leg. Gentle hamstring stretch. Press that back leg into the mat. Make sure it's connected. Again, looking past your toes. Nice long hamstring stretch. And place that foot back down. Come up to a little parallel stretch and feel these legs reaching energetically for each other. Gentle micro bend in the knees here. Don't lock out the knees, and you may just come to your hip. So definitely have a little micro bend here. If your hands reach for the ground, you can take a nice long hamstring stretch. And bend your knees and come up. And back through the middle. All right, we're going to come to seated. So come seated without using your hands. I always want to go for like a dominant leg, so go for the other leg. And sit down. There we go. All right, so you can sit cross-legged or you can put the soles of your feet together, whichever one feels good to you. I'm going to move through that pelvis flexion and spinal extension. So looking up, let your eyes lead. And now let your eyes gaze to between your legs, all the way down to your belly button. And exhale. Inhale, fill up with air. And exhale. You can hold on to your ankles. You can hold on to your feet. Inhale, extend. Exhale. These are all three positions of your spine here. Nice long extension. And then tuck the tailbone, rotate the pelvis, drop the head, and into your flexion. Last one. Inhale up and exhale. All the way down. Come back through the middle. We're going to use our roller for our ab series. So you can do this without the roller. All possible without the roller. If you make sure that you can see me. Yeah, that's all I'll say. You do not need, you can do this without the roller. All right, so starting here, get your hold nice and stable. So your legs might be a little wide, might be at the edges of your mat. If you're not on the roller, you might bring them in a little closer so they're under your sits bones. And start fingertips up in the air. Feel those shoulder blades down your back. Protract them, reach away, plug them back in. And we're going to do some arm circles, and then we're going to move that into a chest lift. So inhale, hands go overhead. And as you exhale, bring them to your hips. It all comes together. Inhale, keep those ribs connected. Be aware that they might want to let go and press up, so keep them level. And exhale, bring them all around. Inhale overhead. And exhale, as if you're making that snow angel, the cool snow. Inhale overhead. And exhale all the way around. Last one, and you're going to add a chest lift here. So as the hands go overhead, and they start to come around, nod the chin first, and then lift the neck. Lift the chest. And come back down. Hands go back overhead. Inhale fully. Exhale, keep the tailbone heavy. Imprinting here, unless you need to protect your low back. And back down. And one more just like this. Inhale, exhale, chest lift. And arm circle. Fingertips come to the side. I want you to inhale, and then as you exhale, start to float that leg. Exhale first, and then float. Inhale, exhale, and float. A little bit of warm up here. A little instability if you're on the roller. Inhale, dip the toe. Exhale, bring it back up. Inhale, dip the toe. Exhale, bring it back up. One more each side. Inhale, dip. Exhale, together. Inhale, dip. Exhale, together. Add a little balance challenge. Opposite arm and leg. So, woo! Tent yourself with the other arm. Inhale, right leg down. Exhale, up. One more. Inhale, tap. Exhale, up. Float the hand down. Other side. Inhale, tap the toe. Exhale, up. Keep that pelvis level. Low back is still and quiet. Pelvis is still. Inhale, extend. Exhale, bring it back to the middle. Float those arms down and float the legs back down. Give it a little pelvic wiggle. We're going to come back into tabletop for a variation of double leg stretch. Head and neck stay down for the first 3, up for the second 3. So start, inhale, exhale, leg into tabletop, other leg into tabletop. You can tent your fingers if you're on the roller, and they can be flat at your sides or under your hips if you're on the mat. Inhale, extend the legs. Exhale, squeeze the knees, squeeze the ankles, squeeze it all back together. Feel this in the back of the legs. Inhale, reach. Exhale, bring it back together. One more. Inhale, reach long. Exhale, bring it back together. Adding this flexion, gently nod the chin and then begin the curl from the belly and let the eyes gaze to the belly. Inhale, extend. Exhale, bend the knees. Staying up. Inhale, extend. Exhale, bring the knees back. Last one. Inhale, extend. Exhale, bend the knees. Inhale, float one leg down and the other, and bring everything back to the roller. Single leg stretch. Inhale, exhale, float one leg into tabletop and other leg into tabletop. Inhale, extend one leg long. Exhale, bring it back together. Inhale, extend the other leg long. Exhale, bring it back together. Float that arm up. Inhale, extend one leg long. Exhale, bring it back together. Float it down. Float the other arm up. Whoa! Inhale, extend the leg. Exhale, bring it back together. Now a little nod and a curl. Inhale, nod the chin. Exhale, zip the belly. Chest starts to lift. Inhale, extend one leg and bring it back together. Inhale, extend and back together. One more each side. Pelvis is heavy. Really engage those ribs at the top here, right underneath the sternum. Inhale, extend the leg. Exhale, back together. Inhale, return to the roller or the earth and float those legs back down. And give yourself a little hip wiggle. Modified scissors here. Inhale and exhale those legs back into tabletop. Really use your pelvic stability here to move your legs. Those are little challenging moments. Inhale, float those legs straight in the air. Inhale, drop a straight leg. Exhale, bring it back together. Inhale, drop the other leg, and exhale, bring it back together. One more each side, and then we'll add the flexion. And exhale, back together. Inhale, try to keep that pelvis quiet. Exhale, back together. All right, nodding, nod and curl into this little flexion. Inhale down, exhale back together. Inhale down, exhale back together. Imagine that it's being lifted from underneath rather than pulled up from the top. Exhale back together. Inhale down, lifting from the bottom. Bend the knees, head and neck come down. Feet find the mat. There we go. Good scissoring, everybody. Let's do a little bit of bridging. Open up the front of our body after all that good core flexion. So, keeping that tailbone nice and heavy, reach through your fingertips. Inhale to prepare and exhale, zip the belly, tuck the tailbone, imprint the spine, lift the hips. Now you're on the roller so it doesn't quite feel as far.
Yeah, as far up, you might have about a fist width right here underneath your back. Inhale, exhale, roll it down, start the back of the throat, one vertebra at a time. This is the challenge on the roller because it's just right there, and so we really need to scoop and stretch. And down. One more. Inhale, exhale, zip the belly, tuck the tailbone, start to lift the pubic bone, roll that imaginary marble underneath your ribs, lift the hips. Inhale here at the top, exhale, start the roll down at the back of the throat, top of the spine between the shoulder blades as it works down your back and comes back down. We're going to hold the next one up. Inhale and prepare, exhale, zip the pelvic floor, use the ha breath, bring the ribs together, scoop the belly, lift the hips, nice and slow, articulating up. Inhale. See if you exhale, bring one leg into tabletop and float it back down. It's going to be a little awkward. Inhale, exhale, bring the other leg into tabletop and float it back down. Inhale, reach the fingertips, roll down, back of the throat, top of the spine first, one vertebra at a time, all the way back down. All right, couple of bridges for stability. So you're going to hinge, no flexion. So just lifting the hips, pressing into the feet first. Inhale and prepare. Exhale, press into the feet. Squeeze the glutes, zip the low belly, lift the hips. Straight up, nice long plank-like position. Inhale at the top. Exhale, reach that tailbone back for the earth or the roller. Inhale fully, exhale, engage the feet, and lift the hips. Inhale at the top, exhale, reach that tailbone right in between. And we're going to roll off the roller here because we're going to do a little single leg work, and I want you to put one leg on the roller. So rather than lift the legs in that position, you're going to put one leg on the roller. So there you go. So one foot is on the roller, slightly unstable. We're just doing one of each side. So feel this in this left leg, or the leg that's on the roller rather. Inhale to prepare. Exhale, press into the roller. Float that leg into tabletop. Inhale, hinge up. No curling, just hinging up, reaching those hips up so the leg stays in tabletop. And exhale, bring that tailbone right back down to the mat. And roll it over and switch sides. Inhale, prepare. Exhale, press into the roller first. And float that leg into tabletop. Inhale, press into the roller. Lift the hips. Nice long hinge. Inhale, reach through the fingertips. Exhale, that tailbone comes down like you're trying to touch the end of the roller right there. And return. All right, bring that roller back down to your feet. Just a couple of bridges like this, and you will be done with the bridging. 2 legs, 1 leg, on the roller, off the roller. So your feet are nice and stable. Make sure you're not rolling out. Make sure that they're really connected to the roller and that heels are underneath your hips. Again, a nice long hinge here. Inhale to prepare. Exhale, press into the feet first. Engage the glutes, engage the hamstrings. Lift and press the hips up. Nice and long. You're going to imagine you're bringing your heels towards you, not away from you, just a little bit towards you. Little pulses for 8 and 7 and 6. It's the squeezing of the glutes that makes the legs move, not that doesn't start at the ankles. 4 and 3 and 2 and 1. Now reach that tailbone as if you could put it in between your ankles. Right there. Woo! Straighten those legs nice and long. And stretch. And this is a great position for a roll up. We will get our hamstring stretches too. So inhale nice and long. Exhale, tuck the tailbone, imprint the spine here as you start to roll up and reach for those toes. Shoulder blades down your back. And reach and stretch. That should feel good. I hope that feels good. Inhale. Starting roll down, press
activate the legs, press into the roller as the pelvis starts to dial down. One vertebra at a time, all the way back down to the mat. And hands go overhead. One more. Press into the roller. Inhale long. Exhale, float. Fingertips and reach. Shoulder blades down your back. Nice and long. And rolling up. And coming back up to seated. And you're nice and balanced on your sits bones here. And then you zip the belly. And you roll down. Keep the weight of the legs into the roller. Arms follow the spine. All the way overhead. And now, time to stretch. So take a prop, a ring, or a band. Place one foot into your prop. Heels come straight up. Bend and straighten here for 3 and 2 and 1. And now point and flex that foot for 3 and 2 and 1. Now float those toes overhead, nice and long. Maybe if you're using your ring, maybe you reach up to your ring so your arms can stay straight. And now floating it out to the side. Inhale, open. Find those adductors and then anchor the opposite side. So maybe even gently press into that roller or just press into your mat. Point and flex your foot here 3 times for 3 and 2 and 1. Inhale as you cross the body. Switch hands. And now imagine just rotating that thigh bone right there in the socket. There you go. Inhale across. That IT band stretch. Inhale, come back to the midline of the body, and now maximum distance between the toes in the air and the toes on the ground. Reach and reach, reach overhead. Inhale, free the foot and float it back down. Switch sides. Foot goes into the band or the ring. And point and flex, bend and straighten your knee 3 times for 3 and 2 and 1. And now point and flex that foot for 3 and 2 and 1. And open out to the side. Inhale fully. Point and flex that foot 3 times for 3 and 2 and 1. Inhale as you move the leg across the body. Switch hands. Rotate that bone just ever so slightly in the hip socket and over. Inhale to bring that leg back up to the middle. Now maximum distance between the toes. Inhale, free that foot and float it all the way back down. Get your last roll up here, nice and long and strong. Inhale, and play with this. You can keep that tailbone nice and heavy. You can tuck it to increase some of the stretch, but it also may get you locked up right here. So if you can keep, as you come up, so if you can keep that back of the pelvis heavy on the mat, and then you can rotate around it. Inhale long, exhale, rotate and reach through those fingertips. And as it rotates forward, the spine follows. That way doesn't start rotated down. Just notice learning about our bodies and their movement. So, spine stretch. You can use your roller or your ring. So, feet will be slightly
wider than your hips, and your ring can go right here through the center of your head, in front of you. So you put your head through the center. If you like this will make you feel a little broader, and this gives a little more, a little broader resistance. That it feels more like holding a giant ball. So I want you to play with it. Share your props or use what you have. Whatever is available to you. So if you're using your ring, just make sure you have this gentle float in your arms, like balloons under your armpits. Inhale, sit up nice and tall. As you exhale, nod the chin, and you're peeling your back away from the imaginary wall behind you as you reach and extend over a giant ball. Head goes right through the ring. Inhale at the bottom, exhale. Put the pelvis back down onto the mat. Sits bones, tailbone extends, head and neck come up. 2 more. Inhale, drop the chin, nod the chin, reach forward first. Spine reaches, peels away, and then the hamstrings start to stretch as well. Inhale here at the bottom, exhale, press the sits bones down into the earth, and bring the spine back up straight, 1 vertebra at a time. Last one. Inhale, exhale, nod the chin, spine stretch. Protract those shoulder blades, reach through the fingers, neck is nice and long here. Inhale here at the bottom, exhale, press the base of the spine into the mat, and come back up to seated. Inhale as you twist. And bring those arms overhead. Extension, exhale over. Now little pulses back for 6 and 5 and 4 and 3. Nice active feet. 2 and 1. Lower it. And switch to the other side. Inhale nice and tall. Inhale, arms overhead. And extend. Pulse those arms back. Start this in the back, like the shoulder blades coming together in the back, for 6 and 5 and 4 and 3 and 2 and 1. Ground the pelvic sits bones into the mat, and then lower that ring. We're going to hinge now. So now really activate those feet, straighten those legs, even turn them out a little bit if you like. Hinge back. And arms go overhead. And now little pulses back for 6 and 5 and 4 and 3. Feel that nice oblique. 2 and 1. And now float those arms. Everything comes back up nice and tall. And rotate. And arms actually go hinge back. And then arms go overhead. And breathe. Bring those ribs together and pulse for 6 and 5 and 4 and 3. And 2 and 1, and come up nice and straight and back. So if you're doing that with the roller, power to you, because that is definitely a bigger hinge with the arms further out. I'm going to enjoy our spine twist here. Spine twist and saw. So inhale, sit up nice and tall. As you rotate, exhale, saw, fingers go to the little toe. Inhale here at the bottom, exhale back through the middle. So there's your saw. We're going to add on as we go. Exhale, saw. Press the hand into foot, foot into hand. Inhale at the knee, and exhale back through the middle with a little hair flip. Inhale, twist. Exhale, saw. Inhale back through the middle, and same side going over. And extension, little lateral flexion, little lateral side extension here. And back up. Inhale, twist. Exhale, saw. Inhale, looking at that knee. Exhale, back through the middle. And then over for your extension. Reach through those fingertips. And back up. We're going to add on. Inhale, twist. Exhale into that saw. Inhale at the bottom. And exhale back through the middle. Inhale over. and reach, maybe going a little bit deeper. And back up, bend that knee. Here, rotate, hamstring stretch. All the way down. Feel the hips open as well, that bent leg. Inhale, sitting back up. Now full extension. You're going to press into the leg that's straight and the hand in the back. And nice stretch all the way up. And hips float down, zip the pelvic floor. Make sure you're descending with control. And back to the middle. Inhale, twist. Exhale, saw. Get the whole flow on this side. Inhale at the knee. And back to the middle. Inhale over. Nice and long. Maybe a little deeper this time. Inhale through the middle. Bend that leg. And hamstring stretch. Nice and long. Reach long like you're reaching away. If you come to the foot, that's great too. Enjoy hamstring stretch. Inhale at the knee. Press the floor away. Come back through the middle. Inhale, float the hands up. Press into that straight leg. Press into that back hand. Float the hips. Inhale, extend. Keep the neck in line with the spine. And zip the belly as you engage the core, as you lower back down. Nice job, everybody. I hope that felt good. I imagine you working with me. We're going to go into some rowing because we've got our hamstrings nice and warmed up. So I want you to use your roller here. You can also use your ring if you choose. But if you don't have both, then you don't need either. So you can do this with all your body weight. That's all you need. So if you're using your roller, then you're going to start with your knees a little bit bent. You can do that on the floor as well. So we're going to hold your ring just gently right here. Keep your elbows in, shoulders down, neck is long. Inhale, zip the belly, extend the spine, and start to lower into the C curve. Inhale, open up. Exhale, keep that roller still and reach down and around. Inhale at the knees. And then exhale, float the ring back to the toes and bring that up, back up through the center. Bend the knees. Inhale, zip the belly, stretch the legs. Inhale, open, and exhale. Back down, looking at your knees. Inhale, and then exhale, and bring that ring right back around and bend the knees. Inhale, just curl the belly and roll back, straighten the legs. Open, exhale, nose to knee. Inhale at the knees, exhale, float the ring back to the toes and come back up to seated. And bend those knees again. Inhale, exhale, zip the belly. Open up the arms, exhale, behind your back. Inhale at the knees, exhale, float that ring back around and row it back up. Okay, so next rowing, more of a hinge. Seeing our theme today, we've got lots of curls and lots of hinges. So hold your box, so almost knees and elbows together, but make sure it's not like this and make sure it's not like this. Like sit up nice and tall, bring those knees together and inhale, hinge back, nice and straight, legs straighten. And exhale, reach for your toes. Press the hands behind you, reach for those fingers together, give a little gentle stretch if that feels good. Inhale here, exhale, float the fingers back to the toes, and then bend those elbows and bend those knees back together. Inhale, hinge back. Exhale, float to the toes. Inhale, reach behind you. Open the chest. Exhale, float those fingers back to the toes. Bend the elbows, bend the knees. Two more. Inhale, hinge. Exhale, zip the belly and C-curve over to your knees. Inhale, reach behind your back. That C-curve is the low spine. It's the zipped belly. It's the pelvic floor.
Inhale, and then exhale, float those fingers back. And come back up. Inhale, hinge. Knit the ribs together here. Shoulder blades down your back. You're nice and strong here. Exhale, zip the belly. Belly button goes up under the rib cage. And down. Inhale at the knees. Exhale, float those hands back behind. Gentle chest opener here. Inhale. Exhale, float those fingertips back to the toes. And pick up that box again. That is it. Here's your rowing series. Coming down to our side line with nice long legs. So we're going to line up at the back of your mat, toes on the diagonal to the front, and want to lift from the glute and lift from the heel. So it's not internally rotated quite, but it's guided by the back of the heel. So nice, long, straight leg heel lifts for 8 and 7. So nice and tall, lots of space here. And 5 and 4 and 3 and 2 and 1. And hold it up there, little pulses here. So the pulses start in the glute and in the core, not with the foot. So squeeze the glute and the heel moves for 8 and 7 and 6 and 5 and 4 and 3 and 2 and 1. Little circles with the heel. Think about the heel leading for 10 and 9 and 8 and 7. Little circles like little teacups. 3, 2, 1, and reverse it for 10 and 9 and 8 and 7. Zip the low belly. Everything's a core exercise here and a glute exercise. 2 and 1. And now bend that knee. It's going to feel really good, right? Bend that knee. Hinge it back. So you get a little hip hinge here. And now you're going to straighten that leg and bring it forward like a little boat of a bicycle. Hip hinge and straighten. And kick forward. Hip hinge. Hinge. Straighten. And forward. Now reverse it. So this leg is straight and long in front. Inhale, bring it, bend it back. Then bend it. Then hinge it. And straighten. And straighten it back. Zip the belly here. Hold on to that leg. And bend it. And hinge it. And straighten it forward. Last one. Straighten that leg. Then bend it. Then hinge it. And then straighten forward. And relax. We're going to get a little adductor stretchy here, so we're going to do our développés and enveloppés. So you bring your toes to your knee, and then bring this knee to the shoulder. So there's a little bit of oblique work here. So really, if you can bring that up, bring that leg up, and then press it down. And then notice the straightening out that can happen here. So you stood nice and long, now you're bringing that knee to the shoulder, to the armpit. And straighten that leg. And down. One more like this. Toe to knee. Bring that knee to the shoulder. And straighten. And down. Now reverse it. So nice and long. Think of the lift coming from underneath, not from this pulling it up. So lifting from underneath. The glute works. Floating it up. Bend the knee. And down. And float it up. And bend the knee. And down. Last one. Float it up. And bend the knee. And down. And take a nice stretch and bend that top leg so you can stretch that hip flexor. So knees stay together, arms are long. Let go of that foot, ankle right there, and come to your back. Stretch that working leg. Put the ankle over your knee, flex the foot, hands behind the thigh bone. Flex that foot, flex the foot in the air, and then push everything into that leg. The leg that is in the air, this one. Inhale fully, and then as you exhale, let it all go and just relax. Let the spine relax. Let everything touch the ground. Rock side to side. Get the tension out. Slow, slow. Little rocks. And bring those knees together. You're gonna do a little rolling like a ball to come up. Just a little bit, just little, and up. Like a little rolling wiggle. And then the other side. So you're nice and long. Lined up against the back of your mat, legs slightly in front of you. You're going to lead with your heel. So the heel leads up and down for 8 and 7 and 6 and 5. We're going to pulse it up in 4, 2, and 1, and up in little pulses, and 8, 9, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and relax it. Little circles. Now you're going for 10s. 10 and 9 and 8 and 7 and 6 and 5. Squeeze that glute. Make sure this is what's working here. And this glute. And reverse. And 10 and 9 and 8. You got it. 7 and 6 and 5. We're going to have our bicycles here in a minute. 4 and 3. Keep that leg lifted. 2 and 1. And bend it. Should feel really good. Hinge it back. Keep it bent. Straighten that leg. And bring it forward. Bend. And hinge. Squeeze that glute. Straighten the leg. And bring it forward. Bend it. And hinge it. And straighten it nice behind you. And hinge it forward. Now reverse. So straight leg goes back. Keep it nice on this imaginary table all the way to the back. And now bend it. Feel that nice stretch. Zip the belly. Hinge the leg. And straighten it forward. Inhale, take it back. Bend it. Hinge it. And straighten it forward. One more like this. And bend it. And hinge it. And straighten it forward. And back. And bring it together. Your developes and your envelopes, toes to knees. And really bring this knee to this armpit and this shoulder. Here, and straighten, and down. 2 more. Get a little bit of an oblique here. We use the obliques to bring that knee up. It's not as much that the flexibility on openness of the hip, although that helps. It's really like, can you crunch that oblique and then raise it down. Reversing it, we'll lift it from underneath. There's energy from underneath that lifts the leg and bends it and straightens. The energy comes up from underneath. Squeeze that glute, lift the leg. Hip flexors are working, but they don't take the first lead. They squeeze the glute, the hamstrings, hip flexors, all work together. And down. And relax. And bend this knee. And feel the quadricep stretch. We're going to roll to our back, bend that working leg, put the ankle over the other knee for your figure 4 stretch. And then clasp your hands here behind that thigh bone. Inhale. Press the fingers into the bone. Press the bone into the fingers. Press the tibia, the shin bone, into the top of that thigh bone, above the knee. Flex the feet. Inhale fully. A few more seconds here, and then you're just going to let it go. All right, let it all go. Relax the back. Rock side to side. Might make some circles. Just feel the release of the tension. Any tight spots, you can hold it. Roll over side to side. And let everything down. Relax. And now little like a ball, just little balls just to come up. So I want you to really start this in the belly. And roll yourself back up. All right, your mermaid I changed my mind actually. I want to give you legs on the roller because I know some of you will really enjoy this, and we'll finish with mermaid. So grab your roller. This is actually what we were warming up to.
I just wrote them out of order. So I want you to come down. If you do not have a roller for this exercise, then use your TheraBand on your legs, because the goal is not to give ourselves an extra ab workout here. It's just to feel the stretchiness in the legs. So this roller goes across the bony part, the back of the pelvis, does not go on the low ribs. So make sure this is not touching your ribs, it's on the pelvis. Your hands can go on top of the roller and feel the shoulder blades connected to the mat. And keep those toes in the air. Just lower one leg all the way to the ground. And notice where the spine starts to want to follow it. Zip the belly, bring it back, and that maybe that leg doesn't quite hit the floor yet, or maybe it won't. So mine, if I honor the integrity of my spine here, my leg doesn't quite go to the floor. Inhale that leg back up, and now switch legs. Inhale, extend the other leg. The inhale stabilizes our spine, and the exhale engages it, makes everything nice and long. And bring it back up. One more each side. Inhale, extension. Maybe it goes a little lower. Keep that low belly and those ribs connected. Zip here. Inhale, lift back up. And inhale, lower the other leg. In a minute, we're going to move both of them, and then we're going to helicopter change directions. And lift that leg back up. Okay, starting with, let's just call the left leg overhead and the right leg down. Inhale as you split both legs in both directions. And switch. And switch. And now rotate those legs. Reach, touch the ceiling, touch the walls, touch the floor, and back together. Now start with your right leg. So the right leg comes down first. Right leg and left leg and right leg. And now reach in both directions. Maximum distance between the toes. Reach, and stretch all the way around. And back together. Switch to the left leg and left and right and left. And now reach those hips in both directions. And back to the middle. And right again, and right, and left, and right. Reach in both directions, and all the way around, and back to the middle. Go ahead, bend those knees, and take a little knee drift. Feel the back of the pelvis, the muscles there of the hip and the glutes. Kind of get a little massage. Inhale to bring them back through the middle. Inhale to go to the other side. Knee drift. Stay connected. Meaning engage your low belly. Engage the top. The transverse. The middle of the core. And back to the middle. Float those legs back down. Press your roller up and away. And come back up to seated. Or your mermaid. Mermaid with the roller. Right. Hands at the front, off the front of the Z-sit of the knee. Inhale, up and over. And return. And take the counter stretch. Other hand reaches. Inhale to go up and over. If this is too much on your shoulder, then definitely come down to the elbow here. Sometimes it is. It does feel like a lot on the shoulder. So that's why really being in front of you too is important. It shouldn't be behind you here. That's a lot of pressure on our rotator. And let's roll it back, up and over. Reach maximum distance, toes to fingers. And then think about these ribs floating up. Now move that roller away. We're going to straighten our legs and give ourselves a little full mermaid here. Inhale, lift hips
and up. Now again, thinking like a little slidey here. Think of those ribs lifting up, and now lower it with control, nice and long and strong, and back down. Bend those knees and take that counter stretch. And now back through the middle, and now to the other side. Take your roller with you, if you can. Roller to the side, leg in front, knee pointing to the roller, hand in front of the knee. Inhale, up and over. Might have a schnauzer visit here in a minute, a little schnauzer sighting. Inhale, come back over. She just hovers just off camera. Inhale back through the middle. Now reach again and stretch. And again, bring your elbow down here if this feels better. This is not a shoulder tension stretch for the shoulder that is near the floor. Inhale, come back up and over. And reach these ribs, like really reach those ribs, float them to the ceiling. And now float those legs nice and long. Top leg in front, hands right here under your roller. Reaching nice and long, press into those feet, lift the hips, zip the belly, up and over, and now really think about those ribs and those chest reaching up to the ceiling. Inhale, and now lower with control, and synchronize that arm as you float back down on the knees. Take your last counter stretch. Shoulder blade down your back. And inhale back to the middle. And that is your reformer on the mat for the day. Thanks for joining me. Thanks for committing to yourself and to this practice. And I will see you real soon. If you have questions or suggestions about this class or others, please send an email to the studio and I'll be sure to get it. So thank you. Have a good one.